Welcome back to the number one podcast in the world. And the reason why it's the number one podcast in the world is because we only talk about
bags.
People that are number one. And we're going to talk about the richest man in the world. And I mean, the bag this guy has, there's memes when you see like those giant bags. This is bigger. This is like 40,000 memes in one bag. It's unbelievable how much wealth this man has created in 1 year. But it is nothing compared to potentially what the Google employees or how they're traveling.
Yeah.
Apparently they have their own terminal.
They're living.
Well, not everybody. If you work at Google and you're not part of this club, you're probably not bringing enough money for the...
You should leave.
Yeah, it's time for you to leave. Go over to Microsoft and head over to that Southwest terminal. And of course, we talk about Amazon's ad revenue, staggering amount of money this company is making. And we found out that Pete's television idol just signed a 3-year, $80 million deal, which in this episode makes him the poorest person we're going to speak about.
Yeah. I heard he's on welfare after this.
I don't even understand how this guy survives.
Pete's scoffing at his bag.
Yeah, a tiny bag. You know how like Chanel makes the mini bag?
Yeah, little doggy
this
bags?
Is a mini bag.
It's like those little doggy bags.
It's a doggy
The ones
bag.
that Paris Hilton probably has a whole closet for her dog. He's only got one of those little bags.
All right, that and so much more. Let's get into group chat.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, group chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
All right, we're talking big bags.
Bags.
And literally bags. This guy sells bags and has the biggest bag in the world. Bernard Arnault is officially the richest bag in the world.
So he got passed by Bezos again today.
This morning he did.
Yes.
But, it's like a give and take.
Yes.
But Bernard Arnault is so impressive because he is now worth $186 billion. Okay? $186 billion. He is the CEO of LVMH. And if you've been listening to this podcast, we've had many people from LVMH join us. The most interesting thing about this is in March of 2020, you know what happened in March of 2020? A global pandemic started. The world was falling apart. We thought we were going to stand in line for food. The banks were going to have a run on it. Bernard was sitting there with $76 billion.
What a popper.
And he was like, he probably thought my net worth is probably going to shrink from here. Makes sense.
Right.
Global pandemic. I'm going to see a haircut. Luxury is very resilient. But, I'm going to see a haircut. Everyone's suffering. Everyone's going to share the pain. Not the case. He made $110 billion. $110 billion. Can you imagine your wealth growing by $110 billion?
But it's also just a disconnect from reality and stock market valuations because if you look at their business, retail was largely closed for most of the year. Their cruise liners were closed. Their hotels had no travel. But sure, there's like e-com in China.
But listen, first quarter of 2021, up 32% against first quarter 2020.
Yeah, but China was closed the first quarter. Asia was completely closed the first quarter.
Record revenue, $17 billion. Record revenue, though. Still record revenue. And what's interesting is I posted this screenshot on my Instagram story. Immediately, I got, stimmy money going there, stimmy money going there.
Money.
People have no idea
That
what
is
$17 billion is in a quarter. That is not stimmy.
No.
They are reporting it's China. Pushed by the momentum of shoppers in China. That is why.
Aren't they shut back down?
Doesn't mean
China's
that,
open.
Oh,
China's open. Okay.
Yeah, they've been open, right? Okay. They've been open the longest. But I don't think people realize like what luxury goods mean in China versus what luxury goods mean in America. And there was I remember when we went to Harvard. When I did that presentation at Harvard Business School.
Yeah, your alma mater.
You
pay your respects.
Yeah, they ask successful alumni to come back. And so I go and whatever, do my presentation, and then we get to see the CEO of Gucci speak.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave it like a very interesting stat. I don't remember off the top of my head, but something like the Gucci penetration in Japan for women was just like something like 90% of women in Japan had some Gucci product, whether it's the fragrance, small leather goods, whatever it is. And this was, I don't know, 10 years ago. So you can imagine that was the early rise of what was happening in China with wealth creation. And LVMH has clearly been a huge beneficiary of the rise of wealth in China. Because like, I remember my first time landing in Shanghai and everyone is dripping. It is a little baby meets Gunna music video and everyone is in the video and everyone has Louis Vuitton on. I mean, I remember sitting on a ferry from Hong Kong to Guangzhou and I was like, it's a ferry. So you just figure it's like regular civilians. Everyone's got Louis Vuitton on. I mean, I remember years ago going to Hong Kong, probably 10 years ago, there's a line outside every luxury store.
And I think internationally, what is important to note is that when you're of status, it's very important to show you're of that status.
Yeah.
Whereas in the US, it's like the Zuck look is what really rich people do.
Yeah.
The black hoodie and the jeans.
Understated.
Yeah.
Understated.
That's like a very US trait. But in Asia and India, if you're rich, you have to show that you're rich.
Yeah.
And LVMH's stock is proving that.
And what I think there's a couple interesting things about this. One, you know, for those that don't know, LVMH owns obviously Louis Vuitton, Moet, Hennessy. They own the liquor brands. They own luxury hotels. They have cruise liners. They own, they own so much. They have fashion brands like Fendi, Christian Dior, Givenchy. Like it's endless. Hublot. You look down the list. It's like, pick your favorite rap song. It's all those brands. But this is a common thing in luxury where it's like someone who like has really put it all together, right? And so the market cap of LVMH is $320 billion. He owns 186.
It's just under 50%, right?
Yeah, he owns. I don't know how much of his net worth that they calculate is tied into the market cap of LVMH, but my guess is he's probably. We talked about this yesterday. He's probably way richer.
I think he's way richer.
Way richer because there's probably so many assets that are not accounted for by Forbes. They're using probably what his stock holding is in LVMH.
Yeah, that's the floor.
Yeah, that's the floor. And
the
it's a very expensive floor.
$186 billion.
Yeah, the floor is a very expensive floor. And this isn't just an LVMH thing. Francois Pinault, who owns the Kering Group, Saint Laurent, Alexander McQueen, Gucci, his net worth went from $27 billion to $55 billion. Then I think it's the Werthemeyer, that's how you pronounce their last name, who owns the Chanel group. They went from $17 billion to $35 billion. Just madness.
Yeah, a lot of wealth creation.
This is insane, though. $110 billion?
I think Bernard's unique, but if you look across probably any like founder majority held or like 20-30% held
specifically
stock,
publicly traded
traded companies, that it's probably similar.
Yeah.
50-60% growth in net worth.
And this is 100.
Yeah, this is unique.
Yeah.
Because the stock went up so much. But I mean, it's why inflation's here. Inflation's been here for the last 3 months.
Inflation will not impact this guy's summer vacation.
No, his won't. But everything's just going to cost more.
Yeah.
Restaurants are just going to raise prices because demand's not going to go down.
Yeah.
This is just a microcosm of what's happened across the board of the top 5% earners.
Yeah.
They've just made so much money.
This is absurd. $110 billion is just too much money.
Too much.
Too much.
So
in 1 year, $110 billion.
So what do you want, Tim, to get the
I think he needs to be taxed half. He needs to get $50 billion.
Yeah, I mean, the story's not.
Tim agrees.
Tim agrees, yeah. But no, the story is like you could just trickle it down to high net worth individuals. Everyone made this much money relative to what they made the year before.
Sure. I just think the absolute dollar amount here is just insane.
He needs a divorce.
I'm sure he's had some. I don't know.
Is he married?
I have no idea.
Yeah, he has a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay, well, he definitely needs a divorce.
He's not a young man.
Nothing says rich like giving half it away
Yeah,
to a
give it half away.
spouse.
That's an easy
And
way
then
to
she
lose
becomes the
half your
richest
money.
woman in the world.
Yeah,
And then
that's a good story.
it's a great storyline. Keeps you relevant.
But yeah, it's unbelievable the amount of wealth that's been created. You know, I wanted to start off with a really big bag, and that's just
Right.
so big that this next bag seems insignificant.
Yes, small bag.
I mean, this is what.
He might not even be able to shop at Louis Vuitton.
Yeah, I mean, this is like. Pete got excited and said Guy Fieri signed a 3-year, $80 million deal with the Food Network. And in a normal circumstance, that sounds like a lot of money.
Yeah.
This sounds like Mr. Arnault's interest
Yes.
for the month.
I mean, if he's
Maybe,
a
yeah, for the
terrible
month.
investor, it's his interest.
yeah, I'm just saying in a CD, if he's got like 10,
That's like his Citibank interest.
like in his cash.
0.01%.
So poor Guy Fieri.
Poor Guy Fieri got a 3-year, $80 million contract.
$3 million, and I don't even
I
know
think
what Guy
Bernard
Fieri
should
does.
just adopt him. I mean, he's so poor
Yeah,
in relative to Bernard. Like,
I mean, Bernard
Yeah, I wonder if
Arnault,
he's on welfare or not.
Bernard Arnault could pay Guy Fieri $80 million to do the TV show in his house for him
or
only.
just to cook for him.
And cook.
Just
Make me
don't
breakfast,
even,
lunch,
don't
and
even
dinner.
record it.
Yeah.
Just cook.
Well, he doesn't even cook. He just eats.
Oh, he doesn't cook?
No, he just goes
He has
around.
restaurant stuff.
Yeah, no, he goes around to the restaurant and they cook for him and then he just kind of like rates it.
But no, he's a chef by trade, right? No?
Yeah, but that man's not cooking anything anymore. Maybe at his
So
house.
he's Food Beast.
he's just eating.
Or Mr. Beast, you mean?
No,
No,
he's
no, no.
Food Beast.
Food Beast. He's
Oh.
the Instagrammer.
Okay, got it, yeah. So this guy does not cook.
It's diners, drive-ins, and dives. He goes around
wait.
America.
Speak slower. I didn't understand those words.
Diners, drive-ins, dives.
So what does that mean? He goes to diners?
Yes, and drive-ins.
Drive-in movie theaters or
No,
drive-in?
drive-in eateries.
So it's no
Drive-in.
different than Portnoy's pizza review.
Yeah, very similar.
But it's
But
just
he's
diners.
going around America and it's restaurants, hole in the walls. It's finding like the best food, whether it's on a food truck. Doesn't matter like where it is. But he's like a culinary expert and Portnoy's not. He just eats pizza.
I mean, I trust Portnoy's pizza reviews more
Sure,
than
pizza. This guy's full
I've gone
culinary.
to a couple
Like,
Portnoy pizza places. Pretty good.
Sure, right.
If he hypes it up.
But if there's, Le Cordon Bleu sitting there, I'm not going to be like, hey, Dave, what do you think?
I don't know.
So people actually want to watch this is what the Food Network is.
Well, clearly.
So who's the audience?
Well, it's the same person who's watching MTV
I know, so who-
all day that's older. So those people who are left watching TV are watching this shit all day.
So my guess is they really signed this deal because Food Network, I think, is part of Discovery. Discovery just did the big streaming deal.
Right.
So my guess is this is linked to streaming because there's no way they can afford to pay this guy this money on the Food Network. I mean, who in the
Middle
fuck is
America.
watching Food
Yeah,
Network?
he only
America.
has 1.7 million followers. I mean, Drama has 1.3.
Yeah,
Should
and
Drama
he's also
start
very,
eating
like-
food?
Is Drama not eating food?
No, I'm just saying. record him eating food.
Yeah.
Get him $80 million.
Guy Fieri is like very culturally relevant, I think. In my opinion.
He's got the spiky hair, right?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Flavor Town, man.
What is
So are you
Flavor
going to
Town?
watch it?
He'll
All right,
like eat something.
Tell me a person that we both know that's going to be like, I cannot wait to watch the Guy Fieri show.
I don't know. I don't know that many people that we both know that likes food that much.
Do you know anyone that would know that would watch it?
Do your parents
Um,
watch it?
Huh? My
How about
parents
your
would. Yeah, I
siblings?
grew up watching it.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Oh, okay. So it's a
Yeah.
Midwest
I've
thing.
watched this for a long time.
So you go back to Wisconsin. It's Tuesday night. The show's on. Everyone's hovering around.
Well,
the
I wouldn't
TV.
say as much anymore because my parents don't really watch TV, but we
Not
grew
your
up.
parents, but your friends.
Right.
You're at
no.
Madison. You're in college. You're like, oh shit, Guy Fieri's
No,
on. Let's go.
No, not like that anymore. No, not like that in today's age. No, we're not putting it on like that, but it was previously. More like when I was in high school, younger. We'd just be at home watching TV. I watched this shit all day. Come home from school, it's on.
I mean, it's no different than. Is it any different than the hot sauce show that's on?
No.
Okay, they're not paying the hot sauce guy 3 years, $80 million.
I mean,
They're
he
paying the
might be
hot
making-
sauce guy $1 million maybe. Or whatever it's called. Hot ones.
Yeah, Sean
That
Evans.
guy's not getting 3 years,
He
80
just
mil.
got. Yeah.
I mean, he probably should.
I mean,
He just
Guy
the
Fieri
number
has
of,
like
the number of viral clips that show's gotten is pretty impressive.
and he just
How
got
many?
nominated for an award. What did he just get nominated?
But we all know it. I don't know a Guy Fieri clip.
I mean, I feel like I've eaten at a Guy Fieri restaurant in somewhere really interesting.
Now,
Not Las Vegas, like somewhere like
When I was in Atlanta,
where?
When I was in Atlanta,
Yeah.
dodging COVID,
trying to stay alive, fighting for my life.
Guy Fieri was full open, no mask. Come on in.
Yeah, he's like, come on in, no mask. No, we went to a restaurant down there, a diner, and he had come before and he had rated it like high. It was on every TV. It was on literally the menu. You had the dish, like this fried chicken that he reviewed and said it was like the best in the world. He had been there 8 years ago.
Oh my gosh. So they
And
were living off that.
It was practically his restaurant.
And was it good?
Yes.
Oh, it was good.
It was good. I don't know if it's as good as when he had it because I didn't have the biggest review of it. But yeah, it was good, but
That's
it was
really
everywhere.
interesting. Yeah, I mean, I understand you have to overpay for content per our last episode with Jad, where it's clearly like an arms race when it comes to content. But man, 3 years, 80 mil.
I mean, he's been on TV for a long time.
Yeah.
So it's like a name that you can just kind of bank on, sell it to senior executives. Like, look at how many views Guy Fieri's had in the past.
He also, Flavortown USA, he'll eat something. He's like, oh man, that's straight from Flavortown USA.
He's got a
that's his-
vineyard too.
yeah.
That's his like tagline.
Oh yeah. Sean Evans got nominated for an Emmy.
Who's that?
The Hot Ones.
Oh, okay. A digital Emmy? Like
That-
what channel is that on?
Emmy?
That's called a Webby.
Yeah.
A Webby?
Yeah.
Why haven't we gotten a Webby?
We should.
Tim?
I'm
I
sure
think
you
we
can
need
pay.
to submit for it.
I'm sure you can just pay someone off and get a Webby.
Yeah, it
It's like-
sounds like most of this shit nowadays is paying.
Yeah. Let's be the sponsor and we could be a Webby. I'm sure you could buy an Oscar.
You can buy a Golden Globe when those still happened. You just bribe the Hollywood Foreign Press.
Okay,
That's
well,
the game.
Same with the Forbes article. All you gotta do is get on that list. is
Forbes,
just pay them.
we can get an article
Yes.
tomorrow that says we're richer than Bernard Arnault if we want it.
It's paying
These
them.
two Indian brothers you never heard of just made $683 billion flipping crypto.
They're not checking.
We should start our own award show, and all the awards are NFTs.
We had an award
Give
show.
ourselves
Oh,
all
We
the
yeah.
literally have had for 2 years on our award show.
Okay.
Oh, that's true. But they aren't NFTs.
Well, I mean, nevertheless, I think the point is there's bags to be collected.
Yeah.
And in Bernard Arnault's case, he's selling a lot of bags.
Selling bags, collecting bags.
Yeah. Well,
I wonder what a guy like him, I think he's in his 70s, right?
yeah.
So he made $111 billion this year in 12 months. And everyone's talking technology this,
That's what I'm
technology
saying.
that.
Like SaaS software.
Does he just scoff at it? Or I don't know.
I saw he was doing like an event or a red carpet or something like this. And I remember I was watching it at a hotel TV station. So it was like one of those like generic stations. They were talking about startups, and they went to him and asked, how come you're not actively investing in startups? And he goes, I have. And he's like, well, we haven't seen you involved in a lot of these companies. He goes, yeah, have you heard of Sephora? That was a startup.
Right. No, it's true. He's just cornered entire luxury fashion
It's so
at
nuts.
scale.
Well, if you're looking to collect a bag, there's a way to do it in London with a PR firm that will offer you a bag to launder disinformation about the Pfizer and AstraZeneca vaccines.
This is crazy.
So, I mean,
How big a bag?
specifically in France, because so this PR firm is seeking people in France to literally lie about the mortality rates of these vaccines.
Yeah. And someone who's an influencer got pitched this ad saying like, hey, here are the 3 things you need to say. Hundreds of deaths from AstraZeneca, hundreds of deaths from Pfizer.
And they said the death rate among the vaccinated by Pfizer is almost 3x higher than among the vaccinated by AstraZeneca.
So it has to be a foreign actor that's paying this London PR firm.
Maybe it's Moderna,
It's Moderna.
because I don't see their name on this list.
I think Moderna has enough demand. They're not worried about slandering Pfizer and
It's for the future.
AstraZeneca.
If you're thinking long term, you could really destroy this brand.
No, but if you think about it, it has to be just a foreign actor seeped into this London PR firm that has no idea what they're doing and then they're sending out to influencers.
I'm
just
impressed.
to create chaos. So it could be Russia, it could be North Korea, it could be Iran, it could be a lot of places.
But they specifically are targeting France. So I'm curious to know, like, why France?
I think they're just testing it.
Just if it works in France.
Like, why Adrian's kickback?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's test it in
Let's test it at Huntington Beach.
Yeah.
Beach.
And then if it works there, we're confident it can work anywhere.
Well, it's headed to New York, I think, this weekend.
Adrian's kickback?
Yeah. New York bound.
That's amazing.
You should go.
Do a little case study.
Yeah.
What's it like at Adrian's kickback?
But yeah,
Is he back on social or no? I know he disappeared.
No?
we'll never hear from Adrian again. He'll go to jail.
Well, he talked to Taylor Lorenz, didn't he?
He did. I read the article.
Yeah.
Oh, he did.
And
Actual Adrian?
his manager,
Yeah, she claimed-
his manager's also last name
Wait.
Lopez. I think it's Esteban Lopez and he's Adrian Lopez, but they're not related.
Got it.
And so the
Why does he have
manager
a
was the
manager?
one giving the quotes.
But not Adrian.
I forget. I read it yesterday.
Was this guy, is he like a musical artist or why does he have a manager? Or did he just pick up a manager in the same week he scammed
Probably
100,000?
he picked up a manager. I mean, he's 18, right? The manager's 20. It's probably
Oh, nice.
I'm sure his manager was a guy from down the street. He goes,
Yeah.
you know what you need? You need a manager.
I mean, it's
He's
no
like, yeah,
different
yeah,
than
yeah.
like.
It's like I just take 20%.
But to be fair, that's no different than like a music artist that pops off.
Yeah.
The manager's the homie.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
At least early on, and then
I mean, this guy popped off in the wrong way.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens with.
But the end of the article made it seem like Adrian is going to pursue this influencer career.
I mean,
They're just trying to, they're trying to retrace a little bit and figure out.
Yeah.
They clearly know the power that he has.
Adrian. Oh yeah, Adrian's the man.
I wish I was friends with Adrian.
I mean, I don't know if it's a man or a woman, but
No, it's
confirmed.
It's a male.
Do we have a picture of him?
Yeah, the original clip, right, Jason, is Adrian.
It was him.
Oh, that.
He took it down.
Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
I saw the original clip.
Got it.
It's like a young kid.
Wow, that's amazing.
So I know you were talking about the vaccine just a little bit ago and the fake scandal stuff. So they tracked the LinkedIn account for the agency company, and they're based out of Moscow.
Oh,
Didn't I say Russia?
Yeah, and they're trying to promote people have made connections between the way they message their English messages and Sputnik 5, a viral vector vaccine like AstraZeneca, which is Russian produced. It's approved in a lot of countries over there, not in the US or other countries. So it's kind of like they're trying to expand their
So
market
it's the
here.
Moderna of Russia.
They're
pushing
trying to
their
expand. Yeah.
great marketing. See, this is the type of marketing brands need. I think the Russians are the best at marketing
Yeah.
ever. all time.
Given their resources, what they're able to accomplish, they got Trump elected.
Yes, they got Brexit.
They got January 6th insurrection. They invaded the U.S.
Yeah,
Capitol.
Brexit. I'm pretty sure Brexit was.
Brexit. Yeah, they're an impressive organization.
Yeah, they do great work over there.
Yeah. Smart chess players, too.
Yeah,
Is that better than a Harvard degree? Just a
I should just say I'm Russian. Russian
It's a
Harvard.
Russian Harvard.
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
That feels bulletproof.
No,
You're like,
but
I don't know, but I'll take over the world.
No, but the impressive part about it is because it's largely a poor country. You have a very
And it's
small
cold.
group of the country that's very powerful and rich, the oligarchs,
Yeah.
and whoever they choose to anoint as like wealthy people. The rest of the country is poor,
But they're very intelligent.
very intelligent.
Russians are some of the smartest people.
Yeah,
on
chess.
Earth. Yeah. They love that chess over there, huh? Queen's Gambit.
Queen's Gambit.
But didn't that girl beat him? The big Russian guy there?
Yeah, but that was like, one out of...
Like the random American comes to Russia and kicks your ass?
That dude was 92 years old.
It's also a
He'd been
Netflix
around
show.
for his yeah. And she's fucking on ketamine the whole time. Like, let's not compare. Gonna piss him off.
All right, well, if you have a bag and you're looking to travel, guess what? You can't find an Airbnb anywhere in this damn country.
No, but they gave a million different updates to their platform.
A lot of features have now come on board from Airbnb. They just announced. They said listing a new property was simplified from dozens of steps to 10. 2x the number of support agents. Artificial intelligence system will recommend names, descriptions, and the best photos to use. So here's the real problem. There's a shortage of listings.
And the clean fee is still
Yeah,
astronomically high.
Yeah, the way once you hit checkout, it's all of a sudden it went from like 700 a night to 1,000.
Yeah.
And I think the real challenge Airbnb is facing, and this is similar to what Uber is facing, I think a lot of marketplaces, is that in Airbnb's case, there's probably so much demand and just not enough homes to rent. I also think because not enough people are traveling, there's just not as much homes either, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if people aren't traveling yet, they're not leaving their house to be rented. So they also reported that a quarter of the trips were long-term stays, 28 days or more, 25%, which Airbnb for that length of stay is not cheap.
No.
Airbnb, there's other things like there's like Sonder out there that's great for long stays, and even hotels have gotten cheaper for long distance stays or long-term stays.
This was over the last year?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, because you see people like, oh, like I'm gonna go to Idaho for the month or whatever it is.
It'll be interesting though. That should compress, given that remote work should compress as well.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like Google, Facebook, they're calling everyone back.
Yeah.
So you can't just go dick around in Salt Lake City or Park Valley. What is it? Park City. Park City.
Yeah.
You can dick around in Park City for a month and then, work from there. They're requiring. So if you think about the majority of people that work in tech, work for the big tech. They employ hundreds of thousands of people, and they're all requiring them in some shape or form to come back by the end of the year. It's going to be like a hybrid 2-3 day in the office, 2-3 day out of the office.
Which doesn't allow you to go travel then.
You can't do the 28-day stay.
Yeah. Or even 4 days because you'll have to be back in the office.
Probably 0 days.
Yeah.
Because what's the point? I mean, then it becomes expensive.
Yeah.
If you're flying back and forth between these 2-3 days.
So Airbnb is a donut.
No, it'll be fine. I think what they're trying to do with a lot of their new features is basically
make it easy to be a seller.
And corner business travel.
Yeah.
Because hotels are still empty.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
not in Miami. They're very expensive.
Miami's probably the only place.
I looked for fight night.
Are you going?
No. I need someone to fire up the plane. I'm trying to get Jad to fire up a plane here.
Yeah,
Does Jad have a plane?
Well, William Morris has planes.
Wow.
Did you know
Jad in his Malibu
Did
home.
you know Google has their own terminal at San Jose Airport?
Yeah, I do because I walked in there one time, similar to
they have that many private planes that they have their own terminal.
Yes. I think in Seattle, so does
I'm sure Seattle.
Microsoft, Amazon,
yeah.
Even
I bet you Amazon has a terminal. Microsoft has a terminal.
Yeah.
Costco has a terminal.
Yeah, Starbucks
has a terminal.
When you walk in Seattle airport, and this is just for like the employees, they even have a section. If you work at this company, you check in.
It's like that lounge. It's like a lounge.
Well, just even the check-in at like Southwest or whatever. Microsoft employees go here. This guy goes here. I mean, it's insane. I mean, Google's collecting a lot of bags over there, digital bags.
Yeah, I think Google has hundreds of private jets.
That's insane. Who gets to use it? I wonder the hierarchy of who gets to use a private jet.
I asked. I think it's like
you got to be on the search engine team. They're not letting you on the Pixel team take that plane.
No, so what if,
I'm like, oh, I run Google Pixel. Like, great, here's a fucking Delta ticket. Yeah, you guys have nothing to do.
So if you're flying commercial and you're a Google employee, that's a problem.
Yeah, you're on the wrong department.
Look for a new
They have
job.
their own fucking terminal. You can't even get in the terminal.
I guarantee you, no one from Pixel team is allowed on that private jet.
I bet
terminal.
you the DeepMind team's got their own plane.
DeepMind team's fine. YouTube team is just flying, wish-washing all over.
YouTube just never lands. It just stays in the air.
Yeah, and the search team can do whatever they want. The search team should have their own
They
terminal.
probably have like, LAX private terminal.
Yeah.
I bet you the search team
The
within the Google terminal.
They're just like, these are their best employees. The AdSense. They can't even look at the YouTube team. They make too much money. I like that. I like the hierarchy. If you're in the right division, you get rewarded. Hunger Games.
Also, how does it work as an airport? How do you get that? I mean, is it just...
You just pay if you're Google.
You just pay for a hangar.
Yeah, you pay for a hangar. All your employees go through a separate entrance.
Interesting. Should have a YouTube one at every single one. And all the YouTubers go together.
Well, they can't afford that. There's probably a handful of YouTubers on Earth that can fly private.
I wonder what the smallest company that has this kind of setup. I'm sure Facebook has hundreds of employees that fly private regularly. Google does. Amazon does. Microsoft does.
Yeah.
Where's the drop off?
I mean, that's it.
Do you think Salesforce? Maybe.
Maybe in San Francisco.
Do you think Netflix?
No. Netflix is a recent bag.
Still north of $100 billion company.
Yeah, I don't think north of 100 billion is enough. You got to be a trillion.
You got a T.
Isn't that a
You got to have a T.
Gotta have a T?
Yeah. You gotta have a T.
Gotta have a
Otherwise-
T to get a T.
Yeah.
A T gets you a
Terminal.
A terminal.
Yeah.
T for terminal.
You shouldn't even. Facebook's not even a trillion.
Yeah, but they have private jets.
Yeah, but I'm saying
No.
terminal.
I don't know if Facebook has a terminal. I know Google has a terminal.
Yeah, hot. Terminal's hot. It's very hot.
That's a new level of rich.
Yeah.
It's not even the plane.
It's also how you keep seeing your talent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you
I
rather
can imagine.
go? I mean, if you've been at Google for 15, 20 years, you're used to going to your terminal
Yeah.
without like normal people.
Yeah, God forbid you go like, I'm gonna go join a startup and you're a freaking SFO. You're like, oh my God.
What do you do when you go on vacation? Do you still get to use it, you think, or no?
I'm
It's
sure
only-
if you're on the AdSense team, they're taking care
Go
of it.
anywhere you want.
Let me tell you, if you're senior enough to be in the terminal gang, you can afford your own private jet
Yeah.
for your personal vacation.
I want to make Terminal Gang merch. Like just for the employees that are really balling at Google. Like $1,000 sweatshirt.
It just says terminal.
Terminal Gang.
Terminal gang.
Yeah.
Those nerds will love it. Oh, this is so cool. We can all
think
match.
There's no LA company that would have its own terminal.
What's this? Snapchat? Disney?
I mean, Disney's
Snapchat's not a trillion.
huge. Disney doesn't have a terminal.
I just don't think Disney execs get paid like that.
No.
Like, you know, I'm sure Bob Iger had a private plane, but
Yeah,
like,
of course, the execs get to travel.
yeah,
but
maybe the C-suite.
there aren't enough people that you have to take care of.
Yeah, I mean, at Disney, you could probably forget half the staff and you'll be fine. That mouse is going to generate money. for the rest of your
you
life.
don't need anybody
As long
else.
as the mouse is flying private, that the rest doesn't really matter.
Nobody gives a fuck.
They keep the guy in the Mickey Mouse costume walking in the plane.
Yeah,
But isn't that crazy? Only in San Francisco and Seattle this exists, and not in LA, which is the second biggest city in the country. There
Yeah.
not a company
What about
in LA.
how about finance? JP Morgan, Goldman
I
Sachs.
just don't think they have the staff that requires a terminal.
Where are Google employees going? Everything's in the cloud.
I don't know. San Jose Airport. I know this for a fact.
But where exactly? Like, where is? If you work on the search team, who do you have to go meet? Nobody.
Yeah, they're banned in China.
Yeah, so you're not flying to China, unless it's for a hearing, for a congressional
Maybe
hearing.
it's just the DC SF shuttle.
Yeah, just like all right, we got to go meet with Senator Schumacher or whatever.
No,
Schumer.
they have to meet brands, right? They
Yeah.
have to go to Procter & Gamble, General Mills.
Why?
Just get more
This
bags.
shit works.
Yeah, but you have to convince them.
I don't think you have to convince anyone at the Google team to like, oh yeah, you guys should think about search. If I was on the Bing team, yes, the Bing sales guy has really got
That's
hustle.
Microsoft.
Yeah. All right, I'll tell you who clearly doesn't have their own terminal, Ryanair.
Yeah. This is a crazy story.
So what
This is out of a movie.
Yeah, what exactly happened? They deplaned.
So this is what happened. A flight boarded in Athens, Greece. I've been to Athens. I'm sure you've been to
Yeah.
Athens. Normal city.
Yeah.
A journalist from Belarus who is very critical of the government is boarding this flight. Commercial airport, very anti-Google. Commercial airport,
Yeah.
boarding in public, normal terminal. KGB operatives identify that this journalist is boarding this plane. Start taking pictures of him. They board the plane. They're going from Athens to a city in Lithuania, which is also a sovereign country. So Lithuania is not like North Korea.
Yeah.
This is like a normal country. Like me and you can go to Lithuania without any fear.
Yeah.
Athens to Lithuania, they're over Belarus airspace. The KGB operatives on a commercial aircraft start creating ruckus and force the plane to land in Belarus so that they can obtain this journalist.
Yeah.
So there's just a complete ruckus on the flight. They tell the flight attendants, you're landing this plane.
Yep.
The pilots agree, land the plane. They arrest this journalist. It's a commercial aircraft. So effectively, between the conjunction of the KGB operatives and the Belarus government, they hijacked a commercial airline with civilians to obtain and what appears to be a beaten journalist, because there's a video came out, he looked like shit, and the dad commented like, yeah, he clearly was beaten. There's makeup on his nose. I think he has a broken nose. And it's very, very scary that this is happening on commercial airlines.
So Belarus is
Very corrupt government.
and they neighbor Russia.
Mm-hmm.
Were they ever a part of Russia?
They would have been pre-Soviet.
So, on a given day, KGB is pretty busy. I mean, they're working on the vaccine in France.
London
They're
PRGCs.
taking down a plane. I mean, like, wow, this is a very productive agency.
It's also scary because, I mean, I've traveled everywhere in the world for the most part. So have you. And when you put on the flight map when you're in a plane, when you're going to like Dubai or India or wherever, like Asia, like you travel over some concerning countries that have had very subpar human rights history.
Yeah, and I think that's, in the talking of this article, there are people referencing the Malaysia flight, like who was really on that flight, that disappeared. And I think these governments are going through all levels to, if they want to get someone, they want to shut someone up. We saw it with Khashoggi. We're seeing it with this. There was that other Russian writer that was also held. He was like fasting for weeks in Russia. I think he was in. I forgot.
No, he actually showed back up.
He
to
showed
Russia.
back up, but he was in London or I don't know where he was.
I forget. Nifgeni or
And so these governments will go through any lengths to shut people up, which is insane.
Yeah, and it also just makes me concerned just in the future of where you want to travel.
You're not hitting St. Pete anytime soon?
No, definitely not. This podcast probably banned us from like multiple different countries.
Absolutely.
You're not going to Minsk?
It's scary because, I mean, if they're willing to do this, there's going to be no consequence. That's a real problem.
Oh, yeah.
What's going to happen to Belarus or Russia? Nothing.
Nothing ever happens to Russia.
So imagine if you're on that plane, they sent the plane back to Lithuania, but that's a traumatizing experience.
Lithuania has good basketball players, right?
Yeah.
That's where LaMelo Ball went.
Yeah. But he's not Lithuanian.
He's not Lithuanian, but
He's like Diamond Bar.
No. right.
But yeah, I think it's an insane story.
It's just the length that I think countries just know there's no consequence, there's no retribution. What was Saudi's retribution for Khashoggi? Nothing.
They got to invest in SoftBank and make a lot of money.
Yeah.
So worked out well for them.
DoorDash.
Yeah. A lot of IPOs.
Yeah.
They had a banner year. This Saudi government probably made as much as Bernard.
Yeah. So I guess the larger point is governments are just going to continue to push the envelope.
Yeah, because if there's no consequence here.
I mean, they hijacked a commercial airline.
That's crazy.
Imagine the equivalent is if you're on a Delta flight and, you're flying over Texas and the Texas governor doesn't like what you wrote in your a New York Times journalist.
Yeah.
No, think about it.
Yeah.
It's literally a New York Times journalist flying over Texas. The Texas governor is saying,
land
the plane. I'm arresting that New York Times journalist.
I mean, imagine the hijacker. That's a tough gig. Like you get the phone call from Putin, like, yeah, I need you to work on this Belarusian journalist. And he's like, so how do you want me to do this? He's like, go hijack the plane.
And
how does it even go? Like, what's the conversation that happens to convince someone to do that?
Ian Bremmer, who's a very well-known foreign policy thinker, tweeted the picture of the navigation of the plane. So it's literally going towards its destination, with its Lithuania. And right as soon as it's about to cross Belarus airspace, boom, a hard right turn back to like whatever city they landed in. So there must have been some discussion and negotiation between the pilot and the government. I mean, think about what the pilot. What if the pilot said no? He gets killed, right?
Yeah. I'm sure.
If this is an Athens flight to Lithuania, what are the odds it's a Belarus pilot or a Russian pilot? Probably pretty low.
Yeah, it's an insane story.
I mean, we've been on Ryanair flights.
Yeah,
they're the ones that fucking stand up and clap afterwards. Well, I had one experience on them. They start clapping once they landed.
That happens in Asia too.
Yeah.
We've been on some Asia flights.
I think
mine on
Philippine Air or something.
When you take Ryanair and it's like a $25 ticket,
Yeah,
you start
you're
clapping because you're like, Jesus.
Especially this week, you hop on a Ryanair. They're definitely
if you land in the right spot, you're clapping.
I mean, even when they probably hijacked the plane and they landed, they were clapping.
Yeah, and it's also
Like,
like,
wait,
what's
where the
going to
fuck
happen
are we?
to, like, how are U.S. airliners going to travel these parts of the world?
Yeah.
Like, is it safe to travel over? I mean, name the country.
Cabo.
Probably safe.
That's all I really care about.
We don't really
I
care.
just
So
think-
you're pretty much never going outside of Mexico ever again.
What's the point? What's going on over there? What's really happening in the rest of the world?
We don't know.
I'll be in Europe. I'll tell you.
Careful over there.
You're right. I should be.
Yeah, his name's on it. Yeah, just bring him down.
Well, speaking of foreign nationals, we talked on the last podcast about Bitcoin trading, and the reason why all this volatility is happening is because people were trading on margin. And I think we were joking that it was like 10-to-1 leverage. In Asia on BitMEX, you apparently can get 100-to-1 leverage. 100-to-1 leverage. That means if you own one Bitcoin, you can act like you're trading 100 of them. That is insane that they're offering that kind of leverage. Here's the problem is that the one thing about Bitcoin that is unnerving is that the same rules don't apply to everyone around the world. So the American exchanges don't offer that, right? Like, I think Coinbase offers leverage for institutional investors only. I'm sure they're against assets that they know they have or something like that. But your average person can't do that. But in China or other parts of Asia, those people do. So it's kind of like we're all playing the same game, but some people get to have steroids.
Yeah, so BitMEX is a company that started in 2014 that offers these derivative products and ability to trade at 100x.
I'm sure if you have a
50x.
VPN in America, you could probably access to it, right?
Yeah, so I'm going to zoom out a little bit.
Zoom out.
The entire founding team is indicted on U.S. charges and now in custody
Nice.
in the United States.
So they are in the United States.
They turned themselves in.
Okay.
So they violated every securities law,
How is it still around then?
and it's still around, and people can still trade. So
That's
that's
insane.
I don't know if how can the U.S. They're domiciled technically in Seychelles.
Yeah.
How are you going to stop a company in Seychelles from offering products
Yeah.
and services? Sure, you can ban it in the U.S. You can tell U.S. internet providers to say this site can't be here, but in the rest of the world. And in 2016, or 2017, 18, 19, when the volatility was crazy, the volume on BitMEX was insane. And
Yeah.
there was articles about Arthur Hayes, who's the founder, who's now in U.S. custody.
So are they Americans by...
They were living in Hong Kong, domiciled the company in Seychelles. Arthur Hayes is an American that worked at Goldman in Hong Kong and then decided
Got it.
to launch.
So
this.
why are they... What did they do at BitMEX that got them effectively arrested?
So it's I'll revert back to a quote I heard from a senior member on the Coinbase team back in 2018 that if 9 of the top 10 exchanges by volume in the world in crypto, so basically everyone but Coinbase,
Mhm.
if they were to show up on U.S. soil, they would be arrested on site
Wow.
because they just don't follow
Yeah.
SEC rules, and they allow American customers to play in this game. So like if you ban the Western world from using your product, then you probably are under jurisdiction by a different government.
Yeah.
The problem is they're letting
Americans.
Americans actually
Yeah.
trade on this. So then you're violating securities laws. It could be a million things. It could be reporting. It could
Yeah.
be like
So
it could be like not having accredited investors. Like you in the United States, you can't get 100-to-1 leverage on anything.
No.
Period.
Yeah.
And even if you were, you'd have to be an accredited investor. And whether that should even be allowed or not, it's like our homie, the Archipagos. What was he?
Yeah.
He was like 100-to-1 leverage,
Yeah.
right?
Hot.
But he was technically an accredited investor.
Yeah.
Like Pete's not getting 100-to-1 leverage.
Pete couldn't get half.
You don't know about my investment life.
I mean,
Yeah, all right, so just to put it in context, you bought Doge at 4 cents.
Correct.
right? What's it at today? 40?
33.
Okay. So let's just, for round numbers, call it a 10x.
Sure.
Let's assume, I have no idea what you put. I actually do know, but let's just assume.
Let's just assume you
let's
don't.
assume you put in $2,000 and it's worth 20,000. That would be worth 100x?
Yeah.
That'd be $2 million.
Yeah.
I would love to trade it at 2 million.
Yeah.
Isn't that enticing? 100 to 1?
Yes.
Yeah. BitMEX.
You know, I would have thrown it on fucking coupon this morning when it went from fucking 38 back up to 40. I saw that dip.
No, imagine that.
Yeah.
A $2,000 investment
Yeah.
could be worth $2 million.
Yeah. And I think
So they can go from oh shit really fast to oh this is great.
they're really
No, but then
Kinda
you'd be
like
on the
that
hook
swing.
for the 100x.
Right.
You'd be hook on the $200,000. So you'd have to come up with 200,000 if it went down.
if it went down.
I would not be able to come up with that. Very clear.
You just turn yourself in like these guys.
Yeah, 100%.
But that's the problem, because for a platform that's decentralized, why isn't everyone getting, like the same access to the same products? They really need to ban these levered products,
But you're never going to be able to ban it.
because some idiot will always.
Yeah, it'll always pop up. I guess the real way this stops is that enough institutions, enough people that aren't trying to make the quick buck enter the space and are long-term holders.
Yeah. So there's
Because this in
volatility.
theory could happen to Amazon too if you were giving 100 to 1 leverage.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, if Dave Portnoy started bragging about 100 to 1 leverage
yeah.
on his Davy Day Trader, don't you think every Barstool bro would be going and doing it?
And so what yeah, absolutely. And I think the other challenge is on Coinbase recently, they're lending against your Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
So explain how that's working.
They're lending 40% loan to value against your Bitcoin.
So put it in perspective, they're not even giving you half
No.
of your value, whereas BitMEX will give you 100 to 1.
So BitMEX will let you trade 100
yeah.
to 1. So
Yeah.
this is, you can actually just take cash and put in your bank account, 8% interest.
What was interest?
8.
8. Okay.
I mean, given where interest rates are,
It's not
it's
a great.
expensive,
yeah.
but who else is lending against Bitcoin? 0.
Nobody.
I mean, I've talked to multiple banks. They act like if you have crypto, it's worth 0.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what your holdings are.
Yeah.
No one actually appreciates it as an asset class yet. Even though Goldman actually 2 days ago said it is an asset class.
Even I read an article about David Rubenstein, the founder of Carlyle.
Yep.
Who's like old school dude. He's like a Warren Buffett type. That's like one of his homies. He said crypto's here to stay. Too many people believe in it. Governments need to figure out how to adapt to it. And
Ray Dalio as well
yeah,
said he owns Bitcoin and he thinks it's better than bonds.
Ray Dalio hasn't been that good recently
What do you mean?
as an investor. Isn't Bridgewater not?
Yeah,
hot
their
anymore?
returns. No one even knows if Ray Dalio is actually investing or not.
What do
That's
you,
a whole different
he's a
conspiracy.
Bernie.
There's a conspiracy theory out Ray Dalio.
And what's that?
The conspiracy theory, this is Josh Wolf. He's a big tech investor. So this isn't my theory. This is his theory.
Okay.
He tweets about this very often,
Okay.
that Ray Dalio and Bridgewater is a front for the Chinese government to wash money.
Wow.
Not my theory. This is public information.
Wow. Dropping bombs here. Okay. All right, Ray. Let's see what you're all about.
Buy Bitcoin. Wash
Yeah.
my Bitcoin.
Yeah, exactly.
He didn't say Doge though, Pete. I'm sorry.
Don't worry. Elon is saying enough about Doge.
Elon is just talking too much.
It's fine.
Doge, Bitcoin, this, that. Just go build some cars. Or whatever, superchargers, whatever you're up to these days. Here's another interesting blockchain thing. So Proppy, it plans its first ever auction of a real apartment as a collectible NFT. So what they're doing, so Michael Arrington is the investor. He's selling his apartment and an apartment he owns. I'm sure he has plenty of apartments. Pretty much they're selling this as an NFT. The NFT gives you an art piece, but you actually get the ownership transferred to you so that the ownership is on the blockchain, which is what we've been hearing about smart contracts and transfer of ownership on blockchain to track how ownership transfers happen more accurately. I like it. I think it's a big publicity stunt. and it's for this business property that he is an investor in. It's a good idea. It's going to get a headline. It got a headline. I mean, the auction bidding starting at 20 grand. So based on your Doge holdings, maybe you can make a bid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's a cool idea to get. I think what NFTs are doing is training us for what society will eventually be like. Because they're fun and they're novel. So it gets us all excited, like horse racing or, buying art or all these different things that are happening in the NFT space. It's really training us. Like, we're going to be living in a world where we're going to be making purchases on the blockchain and getting comfortable with this idea of transfer of ownership on the blockchain, and all of these things are going to be coming in the near future.
Yeah.
And these kind of like cultural moments are just practice.
Yeah.
NFTs have to have come down significantly with this crypto crash, I would imagine.
I'm assuming NFTs are it's a clubhouse.
Yes and no. I mean, did you hear about the Gucci bag that got purchased on Roblox?
Yeah, for 4,000. But
More than the actual
is that from the brand Gucci?
Yes.
That is
Yes.
the NFT was minted by Gucci.
I believe so.
Yeah, I saw that. I would guess, because I know a couple of people that buy stuff on NBA Top Shot. They said values have not appreciated the same way. All right. Well, yeah, I'm curious to see what the NFT market looks like today. NBA Top Shot. Any of our listeners that it's a big Top Shot buyer, like, I mean, if you're buying, especially in crypto, the value went down.
Yeah, there's no way around it. And that's the challenge when you have new technology, because the roller coaster of the actual underlying assets, separate from its actual use case,
Yeah.
can deter people from wanting to participate if this happens. But it's part of a growing technology. This is going to happen. There's going to be ups and downs.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that I like what Michael Arrington is doing with this apartment, because he's showing you the real use case for it in the future.
Yep.
Because real estate is a perfect thing.
It should be tokenized.
Yes.
Like, I should be able to buy a share of the hotel across the street if I
Yes.
think it's an important hotel.
Yeah, and why not track everything on the blockchain? You can't even find sales histories on houses
And
properly.
it's also a way to actually give more people access to asset classes that appreciate.
Yeah,
If you can put $100 in a Waldorf,
yeah. Walk around in there. I'm the owner.
yeah,
It would be so good for the brand too.
yeah.
It'd be incredible for asset classes. Interesting. Well, we're going to end on a big bag alert. And it's from, as of right this moment, the richest man in the world, Amazon. So Amazon released their ad revenue, which, people knew Amazon ad revenue was growing. I don't think people realized that in the first quarter, put it like this, Amazon in their advertising, they don't even have a division called advertising. They have Amazon's other unit, which is primarily made up of advertising, but also includes sales related to other service offerings. But from all intents and purposes, it is known as advertising. Did $6.9 billion in the first quarter, which is 2.5 times large as Snap, Twitter, Roku, and Pinterest combined. And it's growing 1.7 times as quickly, according to Loop Capital. This is the other unit. Does the other unit guy get to have a plane?
He should have access to the private terminal.
At $7 billion, you should get access to
Yeah, that's a good benchmark.
This is a problem with advertising. There's not that many platforms that actually work. So as someone that spends a lot of money on advertising and literally staring at this shit all day, Facebook works. It's just expensive. Twitter does not work. Snap works at a very small level when we do it across several brands. Amazon sponsored products, all their other products I don't believe in yet, but sponsored products, which is I search for, Instapot, and then competing products next to it, that works. Also very expensive. I don't see how, like, the intent to purchase on Amazon is so high.
Yes, if you're on Amazon's site, it means you're buying shit.
Yes, and you're searching for that item. It is arguably the best ad platform on earth, right? Washington, D.C. District Attorney today is filing an antitrust lawsuit. They're filing a lawsuit because they believe that, sellers have complained that you cannot sell your same exact product cheaper on other marketplaces, cheaper than you sell on Amazon. That's an interesting take. Maybe they've done a lot of homework and they think that's the angle to go after. I could think of a lot of other angles, like the private label business, considering they get all the access to the data and we don't, and they go build private brands off of it. I think that's an antitrust issue. But
that's no different than Macy's, Nordstrom.
But the data is so different. They just do it in better.
Well, that's Macy's
because of
problem.
The advertising.
That's Macy's problem.
But they also, if I'm talking about advertising, okay, look, the intent to the search, that's like Google building brands and products.
Well, Google search.
But Amazon's the second biggest search engine in the world now.
Yeah, so what are you saying?
I'm saying like Amazon gets an unfair advantage because Amazon is not just retailing their own products. They allow third-party sellers. If Amazon wants it all on the up and up, they should exit the private label business. It's probably not significant enough to even do. I'm sure it's tens of billions.
Yeah, because over half or the majority of their sellers are third-party.
Yes, more of their sales are third-party. Maybe let's say it's half are private sales. You could extract enough money on from a revenue purpose from advertising and third-party fees to eclipse some of that stuff, but then you avoid all these antitrust issues in the future. Like, why are you fighting this battle of like, we got to make the fucking battery? I get it. Instead, go to more small sellers and say, hey, there's an opportunity in batteries. Why don't you guys enter it? Give that data to us and let us.
I think they do both.
They don't share data. They literally don't share data with their sellers. They don't. Like, if that was the case, it would be such a different thing. But like, think about it. You have one of the world's biggest search engines, and you're like, everyone's searching for Instant Pots. We should do that. Batteries are hot.
But it's still a fraction of their revenue. So I don't think it's going to win an antitrust, because if you look at their private label versus their rest of their GMV,
yeah,
I bet you it doesn't even scratch the surface.
No, I mean, I'm just saying private brands is still significant enough in the grand scheme of retail revenue.
I feel like this is just a distraction that Amazon's purposely getting private label, and that's the concession when separating AWS and Amazon is actually what.
Yeah, that will never, in my opinion, that will never happen.
Yeah, but my point is, I think Amazon's playing the long game. They know what to.
They're going to have to give something up.
They have to give something up. So they keep pretending like they care about private label, and then Congress can take their pound of flesh on that.
Which would be great.
But I think Amazon knows that.
That's fine. I'm okay with that. At least give us something. If they walk away from private brands and give data to sellers, that's great for the American economy.
I'm sure they've thought about this. I don't think they're getting blindsided by Congress.
No, of course not. They know something is coming. I mean,
they have to choose. All of big tech is going to have to choose what they're willing to concede.
Yeah.
And I think they're all posturing of what they pretend is important to them rather than what's actually important to them.
Yeah.
And if they can, make Congress and the public feel like, oh, we lost, we're so devastated.
Yeah.
And keep the machine running, they'll do that all day.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just think they got to give up something. Everyone's got to give up something.
Everyone's giving up something.
Yeah, agreed. So at Seed on Social, what do you got?
I saw Drake post
a
little celebration. Mm-hmm. As we all know, he was named Artist of the Decade by Billboard. He had every accolade you could possibly imagine.
Did you watch the video that he posted on his Instagram?
I did.
Incredible.
With LeBron narrating it?
Well, Drake narrated the first half, LeBron the second half.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It felt like a Nike commercial.
He is a Nike endorser.
He is. So the celebration looked like it happened in the middle of a football stadium.
Yep.
In Los Angeles. That looked like it was completely empty. SoFi. And it looked like it was Drake, a couple of his buddies.
It didn't look like it was.
It was Drake and a couple of his buddies.
Yes.
Zach Bia being one of them. I saw a picture with John Turgeon there as well.
Yes.
And they look like they're having a nice little intimate dinner in a 60,000 capacity arena
On the 50-yard line.
on the 50-yard line.
And wearing no masks.
Well, they're probably vaccinated.
It's a joke.
Is it a joke?
Yes. I want to badmouth those
I hate
people
this like no
for not
mask
wearing
like
masks.
caveat. Can we get over that society?
Oh, I'm 100% over it. I just think it's funny.
No, meaning like everyone's criticizing people when they see people with no mask, but you have
Right.
no idea if they're vaccinated
Yeah,
or not.
right.
If they have a shirt or a tag that says "I'm not vaccinated"
bet
and
if you-
I have no mask, then you should criticize that person.
I bet you could go in the comments on that photo and somebody would be like,
Yeah.
A lot of people together, no mask.
Do you remember when we did a tour of SoFi? They pitched how corporations are going to be able to do events like this.
Yeah,
They just won't have the Instagram reach that Drake has, where
No.
the whole world gets to see it.
exactly. Because we got to take a tour of SoFi when it was being built. And, there was like,
This exact event, obviously not Drake,
yeah,
was described like, you could rent it out for a
retreat or whatever.
retreat,
Yeah.
renew your vows. You
Yeah.
can do a 40th birthday.
Yeah. If you got a cool, $400,000 and you want to rent it out, probably they'll let you do it. But yeah, it was so boss. Drake's definitely the artist of the decade. It's not even close.
Not even close.
Yeah. So I saw something that is looking like to be probably one of the best marketing campaigns of the year.
Okay.
It looks like Klarna, the buy now,
Mhm.
pay never, pay later, whatever it is.
It's trending on Twitter.
Yes, you know why?
Why?
They just added flights.
Oh
Mm.
my.
And
So the same way you can go on an e-com site, buy something for $30, pay it over 4 weeks.
for payments. And the memes are out of control. So, there's just too many, and some of them are pretty offensive. But the fact that this has become like this meme thing, you can't get better marketing than this. The entire world is going to find out that Klarna does buy now, pay later for travel. It's insane. Such a big win for Klarna. I don't know if they indulge themselves in the meme game themselves, or like it just happened naturally. But shit, it is good. It's good stuff there. Can't even read half of it because they're so offensive.
If you want to go on Twitter, search Klarna flights.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm not repeating any of this stuff.
Yeah, I was going to read a couple of them, but they're like, I can't say
A
them.
lot of Dubai, though.
Yeah, a lot of Dubai. But yeah, I think it's just unbelievable marketing. All right, what else do we have? Any shout outs? I don't have any shout outs.
Tim, you got any shots?
Oh. Shout outs.
Wow, no birthdays, huh?
Everyone hates us, huh?
Either that or they're being ignored. That's always my favorite. Your birthday? Who the fuck cares?
We may not know.
We may never know. nothing.
Awesome. Well, let's get ready to wrap this up, end the episode, and we will see you back here on Thursday night, Friday morning, whenever you choose to listen to the next episode. But we'll be back. Just a reminder here, guys. This is the #1 podcast in the world. And if anyone ever asks you, what do you listen to? You say, I listen to the #1 podcast in the world.
And then
And then what, Pete?
oh, Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
You're like-
And when they tell you, oh, Joe Rogan, just be like, yeah, it's not even on Apple, bro.
Yeah.
You can't even find Joe Rogan.
I don't
Where
know.
is Joe Rogan?
I think
Spotify.
Spotify.
Exactly.
Losers.
Sorry.
All right.
See you guys next episode.
Peace.